Alright, so I didn't do an onboard video from our round at Nurburgring because I was a little cranky. And that largely just is the fact that we had 4 last second joiners for the series, and when you join up within 1 hour of the race, it does cause the admin to have to run around a lot and figure out stuff. And the fact that one of them didn't even race actually kind of had me in a pretty bad mood. And the onboard wouldn't have been humorous and charming, and okay, I'm not charming at any time, but whatever. It just would have been like rants, probably, and that was about it. So and there was the fact that I don't feel comfortable at Nurburgring. It's a track that I've never had a good result at, and today's result, or yesterday's result, probably was the best one I've ever had, which was 20th, so it's not nothing, but it's not good. So yeah, anyway, so we're going to do a quick recap here. I went through the entire race, kind of picked out the laps where, stuff happened, and I didn't write down the stuff so that I'll be slightly shocked when it happens. But anyways, we roll on, and yeah, let's get going here. So, qualified in 28th, I think, which came 27th when somebody went back to the pits. I don't remember whom. But anyways, I switched sides of the grid, so somebody ahead of me went away. So let's get going. Ending the end of the formation lap here. Had to slow up a fair bit. No matter how much you know the cars are ghosted, when somebody ahead of you comes to a dead stop, you still kind of panic and still... Whoa, burnt Schurnthainer going off the track there on the formation lap. All right, here we go. Last turn. Get down to the limit. John Picha kind of shoved one of the Ferraris into me a little bit there. I think it's Ruben Simeonite, who's a newcomer. And off we go! Of course, this won't be a high-quality replay because this is recorded on my main machine, which is the next one to get an overhaul. It's going to get some nicer stuff and whatever. Here we go, around the first corner. Surprisingly enough, nothing really happened through the first corner, which is nice. Zandvoort was, of course, terrible. On the inside of Rafael Sampaio there. Now, here's where problems are going to start coming up here, as there's a little bit of a pile up ahead of me. There you can see it. And a McLaren gets shoved into me. That'll obviously be reviewed. I back out of the way here of that's John Picha and so on. I'm pretty much going to rejoin in, if not last, then really close to last. Should mention Javier Perez Torres, Raymond Roux got themselves drive-thrus. A couple of the cars parked at the side of the road. I make my way through. We'll wait for an update here to see where I am standings-wise. I'm behind John Picha. I know that much. Are we... Come on. Tell me where I am. Showing me in third place, which is definitely not the case. There we go. 37. So I'm ahead of Tom Waz and Rafael Sampaio. Alright, trying to find a way past John Picha here. And we're teammates, so he gave that up pretty easily. But I didn't really give him a ton of options. And then next up is going to be Juan Ramos in his Lexus. He got a little bit wide. He was definitely struggling with the track, and that was a pretty easy overtake as well. So up into 34th place I go. Next up is Keir O'Neill, who is one of the newbies I was talking about. One of the guys we got. Oh, Guillermo Taylor! Off the track there. So that's a free spot. So, at the end of lap 1, I'm in bad shape here. 33rd place after starting 27th, effectively. So, backpedaling a number of spots. A couple of cars coming in for their drive-through penalties. Xavier Eugeni also got a drive-through. I was wondering what happened to him, because he ended up behind me at one point, and that would explain the why. So, still on the tail of Keir O'Neill. Down the inside, he didn't put up too much of a fight there. Got the job done. So who's next on my list here? Car Heroes. Let's just go inside the car, actually, here for a bit. Cockpit. Here's what I'm seeing. Francisco Toledo's up ahead as well in his Bentley. One of the Ferraris from Kessel Racing there. Bert Scherntheiner's in that mix, in the Porsche. So a bunch of cars that I out-qualified and feel fairly comfortable I should be able to outpace. And Vic Nash up at the head of this group is always a little bit slow, so good chances to possibly get something done here. So lining up for an overtake here on Car Heroes, but I think better of it. Wouldn't really do to go side by side in the chicane. Can be patient. Still some people to serve their drive-thrus. Terrible lap times, of course, at this point. Now, I will say I made one strategic error at this point, is that I had damage. Not serious damage. It was like 6 seconds worth of pit stop time as I overtake Car Heroes there. But like 6 seconds worth of pit stop time, and I should have been looking to pit pretty early in the little dive there on Bert Scherntheiner. Was there contact? Was there contact? It doesn't look like there was. He's still right on my tail, so it's not too... If there was contact, it was minor. So Vic Nash next up. And then up ahead, that is Francisco Toledo and Daniel Mandringa. I'll be following Vic here for a little bit. A lot of shine coming off of Vic's car. Jesus. Did not see that in person, so that's just difference in video settings, I guess. Or how it handles post-processing, maybe? I don't know. Vic... I don't know. I think Vic may have just kind of given me that spot. I'm not sure what happened there. Bert Scherntheiner went through, too. It was a bit weird. Alright, Francisco, next up on my list. I have not raced against Francisco a lot, so this is actually one of my first experiences with him. I was at Douglas de Groot, facing the wrong way. So that's a free spot. Up to 24, so I'm actually ahead of where I qualified. Assisted by some drive-thrus for Eugenie, for Rue, and for Javi P. And, contact between Mandringa and Toledo. Didn't look like anything harmful, actually. But Mandringa off the track and Toledo making a mistake there. So that's going to promote me to 22nd. And that means next up is Ruben Simeonite and Mauricio Delgado, who are guys I generally think of as rivals. After that, it's going to get a little bit more tricky, because there's like Murray Iwanchuk and Andrew Anderson. Like, they're usually faster than me. So, the forward momentum at this point, I was thinking probably wouldn't go much higher. I guess the reason I didn't want to adjust my pit stop to come in early is, I mean, you guys know, you've seen my onboards, I think, at this point enough to see, like, that, I always, like, I obsess over the fuel numbers and stuff, and I just hate pitting before halfway. Like, I want to maximize the tires, I want to know the fuel numbers and everything, and it's just hard for me to get out of that mindset. When the car is really banged up, it triggers me, but at this point the car didn't feel all that bad, although the lap times, as we see when we come around this time, are, like, definitively slow. I'm probably a good second off of where I'll be in the second half of the race. Once I've, you know, fixed the car up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 58.8. Like, you had to deal with a little bit of traffic earlier in that lap, but that's not a good lap. Down the inside of Ruben Simonite. Now, or Simonite. Now, I'm very interested with this one because, I wasn't sure if I made solid contact with him, so Ruben, if you're watching, you could possibly use this as evidence for a stewarding inquiry. Or maybe not. Let's see. So it's a bit of a clumsy move. Like, it's a move that comes out of the fact that he's really slow into that first corner. I don't know. I don't feel too bad about that, to be honest. You could say maybe I'm being too easy on myself, but I don't know. I think that was okay. Not the cleanest overtake of the day. Okay, so nothing really happens for the next little bit according to my notes. So skip ahead to lap number 7, where I've caught Mauricio Delgado in one of my favorite liveries. That's the Ram. That's the 2018 Ram Mercedes. Love the Ram cars. Is it? Or has he done a custom livery instead? No, that's the Ram livery. I really like that. I like their 2019 one better, but that one's pretty good. At this point, Xavier Eugeni's caught up to me, and we know he's super fast. He's top 10 in the championship, and he's on my tail in the BMW M6, and I've got Delgado, so I'm very anxious to get past Delgado here, because obviously I would like to... Oh, what happened? What even... I was wondering this live, too. What even happens here? Is this just Delgado letting us past? What's the deal here? Okay, gas. Heavy on the brakes. Okay. Nothing odd yet. And then... yeah, just... I don't know. Just doesn't get off... just doesn't have any pace off that corner. It's a bit weird. Anyways, I overtake him there. Now, surprisingly enough, I am actually going to stay ahead of Eugeni for quite a bit here, which is probably the highlight of my race, to be honest, because he's got pace. And I mean, I ended up ahead of him because of a drive-through penalty, not because of any like pace, but it proved that I wasn't just a sitting duck when he caught me, which is nice. This car was sliding around a lot at this point, which I think had something to do with the damage, as well as just I had a pretty slippery slipping setup for this race. John Picha was not a fan of it. Don't know if my teammate Wayne used my setup or John's setup or his own setup. Hope they use one of ours. It'd be nice to know that we're at least using each other's setups. Otherwise, this team is not functioning as well as I would like. But this comes to the end of lap number 7. What's the lap time? Can I get a lap time? Can I get a lap time? Yes, I can. Okay, so 58.4 or 58.5. So getting better. And then the next note I have here is on lap number 12. So let's get through here. Xavier Eugeni is still on my tail. We're coming up to some lap traffic. It's one of the 2C's McLarens and Juan Ramos in the Lexus. Not sure if that's Vic Nash or Martin Hughes. Xavier goes to the inside, but I wouldn't even say I really defend. I just maintain my line, and I keep the position. We're up to 19th right now. Trying to figure out why that is. Matt Higgs is behind us, so... looks like Higgs has been into the pits. So one thing I don't like is that you can't get the the pit stop colors here. So I get through on 1. It's a pretty good job. Pretty good job, actually, by the lap traffic there. They let us through without incident on a nice little straightaway. Made it super easy. Probably slowed down a little bit too much. They dropped quite a ways behind us. But still, not bad. And then at this point, I'm still kind of chasing after Wayne Hutchison, my teammate, but he's a good ways up the road. So at this point, my thoughts are really just on defending against Xavier and trying to hang on to 19th place. That is Vic Nash behind us, so there we go. So, give credit to Vic where it is due. He did a exemplary job of handling the yellows, or not the yellows, the blues. His car was sliding around like a hovercraft a little bit, so it was a little bit nervous coming up to him. But that's just a quality of connection. Mine has been really bad lately. I'm really pondering investigating a swap of internet to not necessarily faster, because like the speed is not the problem. It's just the consistent quality of my internet has been so bad lately. All right. So my next note is on lap 15. So let's skip ahead. We'll see that I still have Xavier behind me. We're up to 17th now, having overtaken the other Xavier, Castano Muniz, who has been into the pits. Where's Matt Higgs? Higgs is still 27. We also overtook Murray Iwanchuk. It's actually up 2 spots, up to 17th. I've got a little gap to Xavier. I was able to do reasonably good lap times here. I'm doing like 58 flats, which are not good. And definitely still speak to the problems with my car being damaged. And to be honest, I should have pitted earlier, but I was enjoying this fight, so wanted to stay up. Coming up to Keir O'Neill in the Ferrari here, the Ferrari 488, and this is probably going to be my sourpuss moment for the race, unfortunately. And I'll talk about I'm definitely going to talk about this more on the stewarding video, because the stewarding is in. Okay, Xavier at this point is pitted. Okay, so now I'm more or less on my own, just coming up to Cure, and some guys behind me there. That's Xavier behind me. He's still there. It's a timing glitch, I guess. I was gonna say I didn't think I lost him at any point. And then Jeff coming back through the field after a pit stop. So this is a blue flag scenario. I'm not racing Kier for position. I'd say at this point he hasn't really done anything wrong. He could have been like more, slightly more accommodating or whatever, but it's not really a problem. And I go around the outside of him here, and he hits me. So, needless to say, when you hit a car that is lapping you, it's never going to really look all that good. So, I mean, little preview of the stewarding video here. Boom! And apparently he was thinking about going to the pits then, and it just kind of overrode everything else he was doing, and that's not good. So you see Xavier overtakes me, although he's going into the pits, so it doesn't really matter. And then Jeff overtakes me, but he's not racing me, if we're being honest. He's up in a battle of the top 5. And then I should have pitted here. I really should have pitted here, because this was the point where the damage became actually quite bad. Wound up being like a 52-second pit stop, so we're up to about 12 seconds of damage. I should have pitted there. I didn't pit there. I don't even pit on the next lap. So that was me being a dummy. I pitted on lap 17 eventually. My next note is at lap 21. Let's see where we're at. So I've gotten the pit stop done. I'm behind Murray Iwanchuk and ahead of Raymond Rube. Not by a ton. Him and Javi P are swapping behind me. And I'm coming up to, I believe, some lap traffic here. Or no, you know what that is? That's Maxi Lentini, the race leader, who's up ahead of me, actually, in the Phase 2 Porsche. There is some lap traffic coming up ahead. That's Tom Waz, new to the series, in the number 69 McLaren, which is a custom number, so it's not the actual number of the car, but it's like Plan X or something? Not Plan X. I can't remember the sponsor's name, or the team name. but it's not optimum, and it's not the Braun / Jensen Button team. So he lets through. It does a good job of letting Maxi through there, I think. And I'll be next up on his list. Sean Kenny's behind me. That's a bit weird. I think he got a penalty. So catching Tom, he goes a bit deep there and just kind of stays wide, lets me through. That's a good job by the blue flagger. You made a mistake. You might as well use the chance to let me through, nice and clean. I think that's one of the Haas. No, that's Raymond Rube behind us, right? The garage. It's the garage 59 Aston Martin. What am I thinking? And that's about it for here. So heading on to lap 24, I have notes. So here I'm letting Mike Stoffmill through. Now I am overlifting here on this straightaway to let him through because I really wanted to let him through. What was happening is I was getting a lot of lag through this section of the track. I don't know what it was. It was maybe I was having to render or something. I was thinking maybe it was a lot of cars in the pits, but there's no one sitting there, so that shouldn't even be the case. But I was getting a little bit of lag here, and maybe need to lower my video settings, unfortunately, to account for it. And as a result, anytime someone was coming up on here with a blue flag scenario, I was like more than keen to just overlift and just kind of get it through. And I had Stoffmill, and then Christopher Streppett's going to be coming up here too, and the Bentley, there he is. And so I let Stoffmill through there, which is good. Which, by the way, is a good point. Use the start-finish straight to let your blue flags get cleared. Like, I lost more time than I should have there. Like, I lost like 2 seconds there, so that was a bit extreme. Here I made just kind of a little bit of a mistake, and through goes Christoph. So that's no problem. And yeah, I mean, I hate to belay blue flags so heavily on this kind of stuff, but unfortunately it's really been a massive Andre Locutus was off the track there. Almost an unsafe rejoin. He held it there though, so that's okay. So at this point, for the next little bit, actually I kept up with Verstappen and Stoffmill kinda well. Like, obviously losing ground. They were running like 155s. I was running like 157s. But I don't know. This part of the track kind of, or this part of the race kind of made me feel reasonably good about my pace, and the fact that I was actually closing down Murray Iwanchuk. I know that Nissan's not a good car, but Murray's the reigning champ of this series. Hasn't been around enough to defend his crown effectively, but it has to be said that just keeping up with Murray for a while, it felt good. It was really nice. I mean, you could argue that I was Mauricio Delgado letting me through. No issue there. Good job on the blue flags. Possibly looks like you might have made a mistake more so than anything else, though, which is unfortunate. So rolling around here to the start-finish. My lap time here is going to be terrible, but I want to see my best lap at this point. So yeah, like a 159, but at this point I've done a 157.2, just 8 tenths faster than my fastest in the first stint, and faster than my qualifying one. So proof that I probably could have been higher on the grid. Anyways, lap 30 is my last note, and also the last lap of the race, so you know that makes sense. So you can see I've closed down the gap to Murray Iwanchuk down to 4.4 seconds. So that's about 3 second gain. Still have Javier and Raymond Rube behind me. I'm coming up to Raffaele Sampaio in the Mercedes, and we're gonna see the lap time I put up here real quick. See if my best lap's changed. Nope, same best lap, 57.237. A little bit of a slower lap there, 57.8, but still faster than anything I had in the first half of the race. Little bit of a slide there. And up ahead of us is John Picha, who is a lapped car. I think he's battling with Francisco Toledo, if memory serves, over 26th place. He's my teammate, of course, so... I must say, John, you gotta get that race pace up, my friend, because we qualified on the same lap time. And I know I did badly, but the fact that I'm coming up to lap you is a little, it's a little problematic. But anyways, so Rafael Sampaio did an excellent job there getting out of my way. Two thumbs up to Rafael. Ooh, got a little bit wide there though. But see, and Rafael could have tried to like dive bomb me there or something and be silly, and he didn't. That was appreciated. Because he's not anywhere near Daniel Madringa, who's the next car up in line. I think he's actually a lap down to Daniel, if I remember correctly, because I got to investigate Daniel for a penalty. A time penalty he took that may not have been properly applied. You can see actually my fuel calculations were pretty good here. Got 8 liters left. Probably a lap too much. And we're coming around to the finals here. At this point, I told John not to worry about the blue flags at all. Just go do your thing and try to go for Toledo, because there was, as close as I was getting to E1 Chuck, there wasn't enough time left in the race for me to really get him. But unfortunately, John screws up there and loses the car and slides it, and that takes the pressure off Toledo. And I come across the line to claim a 20th place here at the Nurburgring. I mean, overall, I can't really say anything other than I was pretty happy with this race. I mean, coming up from 28th on the grid to 20th. Yes, my qualifying time was artificially bad because I could have, like, 100% done better. I mean, my fastest lap in this race was actually 0.2 faster than I qualified on. So, I mean, there's that. I also did like that I took some risks this time. I went with, like, smaller brake ducts, and I used the number 1 brake discs for the first time in a race. They didn't fade or anything, so I'm going to definitely do that from now on. Probably the smaller brake ducts will probably also be a feature of the car, and hopefully I can turn that into some decent results at Hungaroring. Well, not Hungaroring. I'm never optimistic about Hungaroring. It's not a track I'm any good at. Monza tends to be a place where I kind of luck into good results, so maybe in 2 rounds that'll be a thing. And then we, of course, have August 23rd, a multi-driver enduro event coming up. Looks like we're going to have enough people to make a grid out of that, so that's nice. Not a lot of fast drivers in the field, though. Like we got the awesome team of Albert Arjona and Xavier Castano Muniz, and also Travis Wallace and Justin Swan. Wesley Stokes and Murray E1 Chuck are going to partner up. That's going to be cool. They're in a Lexus. It's gonna be interesting, and but there's not, there's no Stop Mills, no Lentinis, no Christopher Streppens. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plans out. I gotta do some testing about that as well to figure out the whole driver swap thing. So get ready for that, and then we're off to the IGT stuff with Kyle Almy, Bathurst, and Suzuka. Of those, I'm looking forward to Suzuka for like a result. Kyle Almy, I'm very bad at, and Bathurst is just such a dice roll that I can't in good conscience say I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, stewarding video will be out probably tomorrow for this race for anybody that is watching, looking for an update on that. Got a couple of reports, nothing too much. Looked like a lot more talk than actual backup, but we'll see. We'll see. And welcome aboard all the new people that are in the series. It was good racing with you guys. And yeah, hopefully Hungaroring is excellent. Hopefully the multi-driver event is excellent. Might as well introduce it here. That's going to be at Paul Ricard. I don't want it to be a Paul Ricard. I don't like Paul Ricard. It's a boring track. It's kind of a terrible track. It's not one that I'm any good at. But I really can't ignore the fact that it actually would bring some interesting cars into play because of how power-based it is. You could do like a Jaguar or something and actually do reasonably well, so that'll be kind of interesting to use that fact. And then on top of that, it's a pretty safe track, which is kind of key for the first ever ESR multi-driver event. So this is going to be Paul Ricard. Sorry, guys. I'd like it to be something cooler, but I think I was talking with somebody and they made a lot of sense. So Paul Ricard it is.